Welcome, welcome! It's Mud Dog with the TexasSpaceNavy bringing you another Star Citizen video. And I thought I would recap this week's Inside Star Citizen that came out earlier today. As you know, on Thursdays, throughout most of the year, they put out a show called Inside Star Citizen that gives you some of the behind-the-scenes looks at what's going on in development. Today, they talked about a few different topics. Obviously, the first topic is mining, and in particular, mining UI. This is something that they're trying to implement in 3.12, so it won't be ready, obviously, for the second part of 3.11, or whatever part that's coming out next, which they did just release a patch just a few moments ago to the PU that's supposed to help with some of the background or the server stuff going on behind the scenes. You know, a lot of you have a hard time making your characters change clothes, armor, etc. This is supposed to help fix some of those bugs. Now, a little ditty has told me, and I'm sure all of you probably know by now anyways, that the PTU is looking at 3.11.1 to the Avocati, and they are testing some interesting things there. One of which is New Babbage is going to be the home of this year's Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. So there is an Expo hall there that you can visit, evidently. Will the Mercury Star Runner be in it? We don't know. Nobody's really come out and said that yet. Hopefully we will see something of it soon. I imagine it will be, and I imagine 3.11.1 or 3.11.2 will be the IAE and the cell that comes up. Again, we don't know if they're going to do another patch before then, but usually Avocati is going to have something for a couple of weeks before it's released live to the public. So I think it's going to be in 3.11.1. I mean, they've already got the Expo in there. Why not have, you know, everything come out during that? Obviously, they're not going to turn on the different parts of the Expo, because if you don't know, the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo happens over a span of like 9 days. 7, 8, 9 days, something along those lines. And they usually do a different manufacturer every single day. They group a few manufacturers together on certain days, like the alien manufacturers and that sort of thing. So hopefully we'll get to see that somewhere, you know, I guess it'll probably be that third week in November, most likely, right before and during Thanksgiving. Usually do it around that time. So keep your wallets ready. Stock them up full, have the dollar bills hanging out of them, because you may need it this year, because I am predicting 3 or 4 ships new that we haven't seen in the game. So maybe we'll get that, maybe we won't, maybe they'll save some for 3.12. Don't know. Just, you know, speculation on my part. So back to this video. So they're talking about changing up the mining UI. You're going to be able to see your consumables, how much of the consumable you have left before it runs out. You're going to be able to see what is in your cargo, you know, what percentage. Then you're also going to see, you know, if you have volatile stuff in your cargo and how long before it's going to explode. And of course, now they're also talking about the jettison cargo button and how that's working as well. So they're trying to make everything prettier, make everything make a little more sense when it comes to mining, make it a little easier to understand some of the stuff that's going on there on the HUD, and it's definitely something that they needed to do. I'm glad that they're working on it. It seems to me like they're really deciding to kind of up the ante on some of the parts of the game that are already in some of the mechanics that are already in the game. Cargo running, you know, refining's getting a tier 0, but cargo running's going to get a little bit of an upgrade eventually here soon, hopefully. And then you also have this, you know, mining. I think they're still waiting on iCache before they really do any more mechanics for the game, and that's understandable. I mean, even with cargo running, you know, let's say a pirate comes by and you're flying your whole sea and they shoot off parts of your cargo. Well, that needs to be able to stay in space for them to come back and claim. So it's understandable iCache needs to be in. This is something else they're talking about, is the physicalized buttons in cockpits. If you have a Gladius, you've already seen a little bit of this when you power up your ship. Your character actually goes and touches different buttons and stuff. It's going to be a little bit more, I guess, realistic with some of the other ships. They do want to go to more of a DCS type option. I hope they don't go full DCS on us. that's going to be a little too much for the lay person, for the person that just wants to get in and experience flying. They don't want to necessarily have to learn how to fly an actual jet. You know what I mean? So definitely, I want them to steer clear of going full DCS on us. What do you guys think in the comments? Let me know. Do you want a full DCS sim, you know, in Star Citizen, or do you just want something that's looks cool and, you know, you can click a button here and there, but it still makes sense and it's still accessible to just about anybody? I think it should be accessible to everybody, but maybe it's, you know, it's going to only be mastered by those that spend the time to learn it. That's the way it used to be. Now, you know, the game mechanics, flight mechanics have changed a lot since then. So we'll have to, you know, hope and pray that they get back to something like that. Now, what they're showing off here is non-lethal ways of taking people down. It's a gun they're working on that will shoot out, you know, kind of like a taser. And this is a medical gun where it has a serum in it that shoots out in a beam to help cure players. I don't know how they really plan on implementing that, if that's going to be an actual thing where you just kind of beam a player to heal up its leg or, you know, fill in bullet holes. Again, that's something else that they'll have to wait for iCache and Physicalized everything for it to really go in. They're talking about the different kinds of cargo that they're going to have. Some of it's going to be time, some of it's going to be volatile, and some of it's going to be quantum volatile, I guess. Like if you're going to quantum, maybe it's going to blow up. Like it's sensitive to quantum jumps, so you have to fly the long way. So hopefully you don't have to fly very far with one of those. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what it really means when they implement it, but I think it's coming in 3.12. This is now talking about the chaff system, the countermeasure, and missile rework. So they're reworking some of the visuals for chaff and how they work in comparison, or, you know, opposite of how missiles are going to work. So when the missile systems come online, the new ones, hopefully the better ones, then you're also going to need effective countermeasures as well. So that's one of the things that they are working on. The fire team, that's what I call them. That's not really, they're a visual effects team, but I'm going to call them the fire team because they've done a lot of work on fire. This looks really good. Really, really good. I mean, you don't want to be there, but it's looking pretty fantastic. And more and more realistic every time we see the fire elements and stuff. So I'm really impressed with how this is coming along. I am scared to death how it's going to look in the game. You know, I don't want my ship to be on fire. I don't want to see that. Yeah, I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want to have to vent a cabin to put the fire out. Or, yeah, that's going to be scary if your ship starts burning like that. That's going to be a bad moment. Then they also talk about some of the other decks and stuff that they're working on here. They're redoing some of the, I guess, visuals of the refinery deck, or they're finishing up the refinery deck. They're also working on the visuals of the 600i. They said they've made the lighting 10 times less resource heavy, so that's fantastic news if you're a 600i owner. It's not going to kill your machine to be in that ship. It's actually going to be much better. They're redoing some of the derelict, you know, I guess textures, make it look a little more old and run down. It actually looks really good, some of the stuff that they're doing to change it. I plan on, or I hope I see some of this in like Outpost on planets, some of this worn, run down look. I think that would be fantastic. I mean, why wouldn't the Outpost be a little bit worn, especially if it's been there for a while, right? It should have, you know, footprints from the dirty planet outside, etc. Then they also talked about the docking stations on space stations and how that's coming along. It's in white box phase. So if you I mean, if you don't know, but you want to know, white box phase is, you know, pretty much getting there. It's going to, I guess, they're going to detail everything at this point, and then they'll go with final art, which will really put the detail on all of it. They're trying to figure out exactly where to put these docking, you know, collars or these docking areas that make sense on their current space stations. And I think they've decided that this is kind of where they want to go with them. And we should see those hopefully first quarter, maybe next year. Who knows? Again, I think they're waiting on iCache to put some of this in, or to finalize some of this. because again, the whole C should be coming in, I think, about that time as well. I think that's kind of what they're waiting on. They don't want to put it out until there's actual reason to fly a whole C. So what do you guys think of Inside Star Citizen this week? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys for watching the video. I really do appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you to all my Patreon and YouTube members. You guys are awesome. If you want to become a member of either one of those, that information's in the description of the video. Once again, I appreciate it. I thank you. I'm Mud Dog with the Texas Space Navy, and I'll see you out in the verse.